Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Second Star to the Left. I'm Michelle, and this is my daughter, Billy.
Hi.
And here's where we'll share board game reviews, ramblings, and a few wrong turns along the scenic route. It's November, and we're attempting a Be Thankful for Your Shelves challenge. This means that for every new game that we buy or play, we will be playing a game from our shelves. Hopefully. That's the plan anyway. Thinking about our old games and which we wanted to play, we thought we would do a series of videos where we talk about would we still buy that?
Assuming we had never bought it at all.
Yeah. Not would we cull it or do we regret buying it. Those are different things. But instead, if we saw these games on Kickstarter or previewed on a channel that we follow, would we buy them now? Knowing what we know about our playing habits, our taste in games, who we play with, are these games that we would still choose today? We're going to look at 3 games today that we purchased years and years ago. The first game up is Munchkin. Munchkin came out in 2001 and is designed by Steve Jackson. Munchkin's a card game that asks you to kill the monsters, steal the loot, stab your buddy. And it was designed to be a game that gave you a Dungeons and Dragons feel, but without anything heavy. The cards are filled with puns and goofy quips, and you can wear the boots of butt kicking and slaughter things like a potted plant. During the game, you open a door, so flip a card, and deal with whatever is behind it. Maybe it's some loot that you can grab. Maybe it's a monster you need to battle. You can carry items with you to help you along the way, and you're racing against your opponents to level up. First one to level 10 wins. So it's a humorous, silly game that plays at a D&D theme. We played a lot of Munchkin back in the day. A lot. And it was one of the first games that we started to collect. So Munchkin comes in a lot of themes, and we grabbed most of them. The good, the bad, and the Munchkin. Star Munchkin. Munchkin Cthulhu, because of course. Munchkin Bites, because at the time it was all vampires all the time. And a bunch of others. Before we talk about why we do or don't play this anymore, let's ask the question, would we buy that? Right now, if it was brand new, would we buy Munchkin?
I think we have different answers, so I think you should go first.
Okay, well, I would not. I would think that it looked cute, and I might be tempted, but I'd no longer pick this one up, I think. But it's hard to separate what we know now from playing this game and make a completely unbiased judgment.
I think that as it is now, we've kind of had it for so long, and we've gotten used to it, and maybe even outgrown it a little bit, but if we had never gotten it, I would absolutely want to get this, because it would look like it has just so many options and so much goofy nonsense, which is right up our alley. I don't know if we're going to go back to it that often, but if we had never gotten it, I would still want to try it.
That's a fair point, probably. We have had fun playing this game, but this game just kind of overstays its welcome, because the problem with wanting all of these sets is that even though you could combine them, if you did, the game just becomes bloated. It struggles under its own weight, kind of, right? Because if you started combining decks and using more cards, you'd never get the cards that you need. Which meant that the game would go on and on and on, and you never can predict if this is going to be a short game or a long game. That's hard for new players. Towards the end, we wound up using only 2 decks. We used the Space deck and the Western deck for what we called Firefly Munchkin. But even then, once the novelty of the jokes and the puns wore off, once you saw all the cards, what we had left was a card game that lasted too long and was pretty much all luck. So if I'm looking at it now, it looks cute and I'd play, but for me, I wouldn't buy it now. Are we going to play it more? I doubt it. Are we going to cull it? That's unlikely too, since it was one of the first games that we played and collected a lot of. Maybe one day we'll cull it, but
nope.
Not now, and apparently I won't win that vote. The next game on the list is Ticket to Ride. The game that's recommended to almost every new gamer, the game that you show your friends and family to get them to try games. Probably someone showed it to you to get you to try a game. Ticket to Ride, the original version, came out in 2004, and it's designed by Alan Moon and published by Days of Wonder. It's a game about building and connecting train routes. You collect cards, create sets of various colors to claim the train routes on the board, and the longer the routes are, the more points you get. Get more points for fulfilling destination tickets, which are cards with secret goals that connect cities. This game is one of the easiest to teach new gamers. We're going to need to clarify a bit, though. First, we are talking about the original Ticket to Ride. And second, we need to decide whether or not, for the purpose of this challenge, do we own any other versions? Because we do. We own the other version because we liked this one first. We own Ticket to Ride New York, which I think we both prefer to the original.
Yeah, it's a much tighter two-player game, I think.
Yeah, I think it's way better at two. Yeah. And the theme for us is pretty much local.
Yeah.
It's smaller, pared down version of Ticket to Ride. Now, I'd still play this version anytime somebody asked me to. So my answer for would we still buy that for the original Ticket to Ride depends heavily on whether or not we own the second version. If we own Ticket to Ride New York, then no, I wouldn't buy the original. One version is enough. But if we don't own any copies of Ticket to Ride and we saw it being promoted, I'd most likely buy it.
Almost definitely.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a collector with games, and that can be a problem. So I would want a game that was this light and still a solid game so that I could play with family or on a night when we just wanted something lighter. Also, I really love the little trains. What about you? Would you buy the original?
I think so, yeah. If we didn't have either of them, I would say yeah.
Okay, but if we had Ticket to Ride New York, would you buy the original?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's what I think. So, yes, if you don't have any, but maybe look at the other ones too. We would definitely buy a Ticket to Ride game now, even if...
I think the main reason we prefer New York is because we usually only get to play with two people.
Yeah.
With more, that might be the better option.
Probably. And I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic for a reason. There's a reason that it's on the top 10 games to start a collection with. It's fun, it's colorful, it's easy, and it works on mechanics that people are familiar with. If you've played...
Really intuitive.
Yeah, if you've played Gin, you know how to collect sets of or 4 cards.
Nobody's played Gin.
Shut up. People have played Gin. It's a thing. It's a card game. Let me know down below if you've ever played Gin, please. So I'm not the only person. Very nice. But if you've played a card game, you probably know how to collect... 3 of a kind or 4 of a kind, and that's basically what you're doing. And then you just kind of add the trains and the board in. You're building off what people already know. So yes, a Ticket to Ride would be in our collection. This one, maybe. The last game on the list for today is Carcassonne. Carcassonne came out in 2000, so it's the oldest game on our list. And it's designed by Klaus-Jürgen Ried and published by at least 34 publishers, but I think our version is published by Z-Man Games. Is it by Z-Man Games? Nope, Rio Grande Games. If you've never played this game, it's a tile placement game where you're placing tiles to create cities, roads, farms, cloisters, and then you're adding your meeples to the areas to score points for the areas you control. Maybe you're a knight in a city. Maybe you're a robber on the road. Maybe you're a pig in a cathedral. Don't ask. There have been a number of expansions and re-themes over the years. Inns and cathedrals, traders and builders. We have an anniversary edition. We have the Princess and the Dragon. We have the Tower. I think we have a lot of them. We're missing a few. We did stop, but we even have a full bag of meeples of all different kinds that we ordered so that we could play. Expansions that let you have a little bit more interaction, new versions that even include Star Wars Carcassonne,
Yay!
which yes, of course we own. And honestly, we enjoy this one. They added a bit of battle to this version, and it was Star Wars, so we had no choice but to buy. Carcassonne was my first tile placement game. We added in sets until we couldn't finish placing tiles in a single game, or at least not a single game with a realistic time limit. So we would just set a time limit so that we would play until we ran out of time and then just score points. One of my favorite game memories was playing with my family, and every time I turned around, there would be a pig in the cathedral. Every time. They knew it made me crazy, and I would take the pig out, put it back on the side of the board, and the next time I looked, he'd show back up.
And you never saw us do it.
And apparently this cracked them up. But it just became this running joke around here. Okay, so here's the question. If I saw this game now, just the base game, would I buy it? Would you buy it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right away.
Right? I wouldn't even hesitate. I think we bought Land and Sea, which is just kind of this without this, right?
Right.
This one's the easiest for me. I would happily buy this game. I would happily play this game. I think we might play this game today.
Yeah, I'd be up for it.
Anytime. This is a Sunday morning cup of tea, sit down and place some tiles game. When you're done, you always just want to take a picture of what you made. It's a bit of strategy, a bit of luck. Not only would I still buy it, I still buy almost any game that resembles this. Tile placement is one of my favorite games genres, and this is the reason for that crazy thing starting. So of our 3 games for this video, which would we buy now? Munchkin was a no for me and a maybe for Billy. Ticket to Ride depended on whether the newer one was an option, but we would buy one, and Carcassonne was a solid yes. We've had a lot of fun with all of these over the years and absolutely gotten all of our money's worth out of them. I'm glad we bought them when we did so that we could enjoy them. Do you have any of these games? Would you still buy them today? Did you cull them?
Have you ever heard of gin?
Stop. I'm going to make you play. How's everyone doing with your Be Thankful for Your Shelves challenge? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see,
or if you want to keep watching until we get one right,
then please like, subscribe, and share. If you want to follow us elsewhere on social media, all the links will be down below. As always, open tables, open minds, and play your shelves.
bye! He's helping!
You are a helper, aren't you? So much helping.
He's a good boy.
No, I can't do this if you're on me.
Hey Navi, what is your favorite board game?
Would we keep him or cull him?
No, he left. Retirement homes don't play gin.
Retirement homes do too play gin.
It's too old for them.
I didn't say I was playing whist. I said I was playing gin.
Okay.
I'm not out setting up a game of bridge. Knock it off. People play gin.
No one's played gin in thousands of years. Millions of years.
That's not true. I'm not millions of years old. People play gin. Sometimes they call it gin rummy or rummy, but they play gin. Zip it. Just
Does it involve a lot of drinking in this game?
It's about to.